The greatest comeback in football history. Football is a game of moments. A single pass can change a match. A single goal can change a season. And on rare occasions, one extraordinary night can change football history forever. Over the years, the sport has produced countless unforgettable comebacks. Teams have overturned deficits, scored dramatic late winners, and achieved results that seemed impossible. But among all these incredible stories, one match stands above the rest. It is a story of belief, pressure, determination, and one of the most remarkable turnarounds ever witnessed in professional football. The story begins in February 2017. In the round of 16 of the UEFA Champions League, two of Europe's biggest clubs were drawn against each other, FC Barcelona and Paris Saint-Germain. At the time, Barcelona was considered one of the strongest teams in world football. The club had won numerous domestic and international trophies and featured some of the most talented players on the planet. Their attack included legendary names capable of changing any match in an instant. Paris Saint-Germain, meanwhile, had established itself as a dominant force in French football and was determined to prove it could compete with Europe's elite. When the first leg was played in Paris, few expected what happened next. From the opening whistle, Paris Saint-Germain delivered one of the finest performances in the club's history. They attacked with confidence, defended with discipline, and completely overwhelmed Barcelona. By the end of the night, the French side had secured a stunning 4-0 victory. The football world was shocked. Barcelona rarely lost by such a margin, especially in major European competitions. The result left them facing what appeared to be an impossible challenge. To advance to the next round, Barcelona would need to score at least 4 goals in the second leg without conceding a single goal. No team had ever overturned a 4-goal first-leg deficit in the history of the Champions League knockout stages. Statistically speaking, Barcelona's chances were incredibly small. Many football analysts believed the tie was already over. Newspapers across Europe praised Paris Saint-Germain's performance and questioned whether Barcelona's era of dominance was coming to an end. For weeks, the football world debated whether a comeback was even remotely possible. Then came March 8, 2017. The second leg would be played at Barcelona's famous home stadium, Camp Nou. More than 90,000 supporters packed the stadium. They knew the challenge facing their team. They knew history was against them. But they also believed that if any club could achieve the impossible, it was Barcelona. Players. From the first minute, Barcelona attacked relentlessly. They knew they could not afford to wait. Every minute without a goal would make the comeback more difficult. Their aggressive start paid off almost immediately. Just 3 minutes into the match, Barcelona scored. The crowd erupted. The dream was alive. The aggregate score was now 4-1. There was still a long way to go, but the early goal gave the team confidence. Barcelona continued to dominate possession and push forward at every opportunity. Paris Saint-Germain struggled to establish control. As the first half progressed, the pressure continued to build. Shortly before halftime, Barcelona found the net again. The score became 2-0 on the night. The aggregate deficit had been reduced to 4-2. For the first time, supporters began to wonder whether something truly extraordinary might happen. The second half began with even greater intensity. Barcelona attacked wave after wave. Every player understood the importance of the moment. Then came another breakthrough. Barcelona scored their third goal. Now the aggregate score stood at 4-3. Only one more goal was needed to level the tie. The stadium was shaking with excitement. The noise was deafening. Supporters sensed that history might be within reach. But football often has a way of testing teams when they are closest to success. In the 62nd minute, Paris Saint-Germain launched an attack and scored. The goal dramatically changed the situation. Under the away goals rule that existed at the time, Barcelona now needed 3 additional goals. Paris Saint-Germain's players celebrated wildly. Many neutral observers believed the comeback attempt was finally over. The task now seemed impossible once again. Yet Barcelona refused to give up. The players continued attacking. The fans continued believing. The clock kept ticking. 70 minutes. 75 minutes. 80 minutes. Still, Barcelona needed 3 goals. As the match entered its final moments, hope was fading. Then everything changed. In the 88th minute, Barcelona scored from a free kick. The crowd roared. The score became 4-1 on the night. There was still work to do, but belief returned instantly. Just a few minutes later, Barcelona won a penalty. The pressure was enormous. Thousands of supporters watched in complete silence. The penalty was converted. Now it was 5-1. The aggregate score stood at 5-5. Barcelona needed only one more goal. One goal to achieve something no team had ever done before. The match entered stoppage time. Every attack felt decisive. Every clearance felt critical. The tension inside the stadium was unbearable. Then, in the 95th minute, football history was made. Barcelona launched one final attack. A perfectly weighted pass was delivered into the penalty area. A player sprinted toward the ball. Time seemed to slow down. The crowd held its breath. The finish was precise. The ball crossed the line. Goal. For a brief moment, there was disbelief. Then came absolute chaos. The stadium exploded with celebration. Players ran across the pitch in joy. Coaches embraced each other. Fans screamed, cried, and celebrated one of the greatest moments they had ever witnessed. Barcelona had won 6-1. The aggregate score was 6-5. Against all odds, they had completed the greatest comeback in Champions League history. The achievement became known around the world as La Remontada, a Spanish phrase meaning the comeback. Even years later, the match remains one of football's defining moments. It wasn't simply about tactics or statistics. It was about belief. It was about refusing to accept defeat. It was about continuing to fight when almost everyone thought the battle was already lost. The game serves as a reminder of why football captivates billions of people around the globe. No matter how unlikely success may seem, the possibility of something extraordinary always exists. As long as there is time remaining on the clock, hope remains alive. And on one unforgettable night in Barcelona, that hope produced one of the greatest miracles the sport has ever seen. It was not just a comeback. It was history.